It's not how much you earn that determines your financial future. It's what you do with it the moment it lands in your hands. And this is going to be uncomfortable. Not because this video is about judging anyone, but because the things we're about to walk through are not obvious. They do not look like mistakes from the inside. From the inside, they look completely normal, logical even. They look like living, like deserving, like finally getting something after a long, hard week of earning it. That is precisely what makes them so financially devastating. Here is the truth most finance content refuses to say directly. The gap between people who build wealth and people who stay stuck is rarely about income. Study after study confirms that lottery winners go broke, that professional athletes retire into debt, that executives earning $500,000 annually have nothing saved at 60. Because the problem was never the number on the paycheck. The problem was always what the paycheck was being exchanged for. And somewhere in your spending history, in the quiet, habitual, emotionally driven purchases that never felt significant enough to question, there are patterns quietly bleeding your future dry. This is not about poverty shaming. This is about pattern recognition. The 10 things we are covering exist across every income level, but they hit hardest and compound most brutally when the margin for financial error is already thin. Some of these will feel personal. That means they are exactly the ones you need to hear. The first thing is rent-to-own furniture and electronics, one of the most expensive financial traps ever designed for people with tight budgets. A $600 television purchased through a rent-to-own agreement typically ends up costing between $1,400 and $1,800 by the time the final payment clears. Same product, nearly triple the price. The monthly payment feels manageable because it is small, but small multiplied by many months becomes a number that should make you genuinely angry at the system that designed it, specifically for people who cannot afford to say no. The second thing is new cars financed at high interest rates. The average car payment in America currently sits above $700 per month. That single line item, one depreciating asset losing value the moment it leaves the lot, consumes more monthly cash flow than most people invest in their entire financial future. A reliable used vehicle purchased thoughtfully costs a fraction of that. The difference, invested consistently, builds generational wealth. Most people choose the new car smell instead. The third thing is fast fashion. Cheap clothing purchased constantly to replace cheap clothing that fell apart constantly. The math is brutal. Someone spending $80 a month on inexpensive clothing that lasts one season spends nearly $1,000 annually on items that hold zero value 30 days after purchase. The fourth thing is convenience food. Daily fast food, delivery apps, and gas station meals add to $300 to $500 monthly for many households. Money exchanged for calories that could have been produced at home for a fraction of the cost. None of these feel like wealth destroyers in the moment. That is the entire problem. The fifth thing is lottery tickets and gambling, and this one requires honesty most people are not prepared for. The lottery is mathematically the worst investment available to human beings. The average American spending just $5 per week on lottery tickets invests over $10,000 in a decade for a statistically near zero return. That same $10,000 in a basic index fund becomes approximately $18,000 in the same period. The lottery does not sell tickets. It sells hope to people who have been given no other vehicle for imagining a different financial life. That is not a personal failure. That is a systemic one. But the math does not care about the reason. The sixth thing is payday loans, the financial equivalent of a trap door with a welcome mat on it. Borrowing $300 at a 400% annual interest rate to survive until Friday means paying back $345 the following week. And when that $345 leaves, next Friday has the same problem. The cycle compounds with terrifying speed. Research shows the average payday loan borrower takes out 8 loans annually, not because they are irresponsible, but because the product is specifically engineered to be inescapable. The seventh thing is premium cable and excessive entertainment subscriptions layered on top of each other without audit. Not entertainment itself, that's legitimate and human. The accumulation of it, unexamined, unchosen, just inherited through inertia, month after month. The eighth thing is brand loyalty without price comparison. Consistently choosing recognizable labels over identical products at half the cost simply because the familiar feels safer. If these patterns are landing closer to home than expected, subscribe, because the final 2 things on this list are the ones that do the most damage of all. The ninth thing is status spending, and it's the most psychologically complex trap on this entire list. Buying things not for their function, but for what owning them communicates to other people. The shoes that signal success, the phone model that signals relevance, the car that signals arrival. None of it purchased for personal enjoyment, all of it purchased for an audience that is largely not paying attention, using money that cannot be afforded to maintain an image that requires constant, expensive renewal. Sociologist Thorsten Veblen called this conspicuous consumption over a century ago. Nothing has changed except the platforms where the performance now happens. Social media has transformed status spending from an occasional temptation into a daily, algorithmically engineered pressure campaign targeting the exact psychological vulnerabilities that make humans most susceptible to comparison. The 10th thing is the absence of financial education. Not a purchase exactly, but the most expensive thing on this list without question. Every year spent without understanding compound interest, tax strategy, investment basics, and debt mechanics is a year of wealth silently forfeited. Ignorance in finance is never neutral. It always has a price tag. Here is what connects all 10 things. None of them are moral failures. Every single one is a completely understandable response to real pressure, real emotion, and a system that profits from your financial confusion. But the understanding of the pattern breaks the pattern. You cannot unsee what you now see. And the next purchase you make, the next dollar you assign intentionally rather than spend automatically, is where your different financial